Chiliz price update.
Let's get into it.
So today, guys, we'll be taking a cheeky look at Chiliz and specifically the technical analysis on that daily, 4-hourly and hourly chart. We'll be taking a look at everything Chiliz. Is it about to explode back to the upside? As we get into this video, guys, if you do find it useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you happen to be new here, then why not consider subscribing to the channel? By becoming a subscriber, you'll be kept up to date with everything we do here, from those new cryptocurrencies all the way through to those hidden gems. So why not? Chris, anything else that you would like to add before we jump on down into the charts and start reviewing the price action for Chiliz?
Yeah, let us know what you think about Chiliz. Are you invested? Really interested to know.
Fantastic. So this is Chiliz to the USDT daily chart, and Binance is the data source. And here we have a Fibonacci retracement that runs from the low of the 6th of March through to that amazing high, guys, that was up there on the 12th of March. It was a 6-day run that saw 853% in gains. Since then, there was pretty much a sideways trade here for 44 days before we started to get a little bit of traction up here. In fact, actually, I guess you couldn't even say that. Ultimately, I think it was more a 32-day run with another correction or a massive run to the upside, Bitcoin pulling it back down, and it has started to move back up again. So we have really hovered around the 50% retracement zone. That's been the key one here, that Chiliz has kind of really hovered around the most. We found good support on the 382, right? So we were coming down, finding that 382 support, finding that resistance really up there on the 50%. And again, coming a little bit down here, heading towards the 236 zone before really pushing up towards the 618, coming back down, and again, finding resistance up here at 50% retracement. So right now, it's an interesting spot here on the chart, right way midway corrected, right in that 50% retracement zone. But also we've corrected since this move of 853%, where we were overbought and significantly overbought. We have corrected quite nicely back to the downside. We had this moment here in the middle where we were briefly overbought before having another immediate correction back down. We are currently sat at 50% midway through this relative strength index with a decreasing volume over time and a nice low volume. There's huge potential for this thing to explode once again. And one thing I do want to touch on, guys, is this blue line here, this 87.94. This is the area that normally Chiliz was going up to and kind of finding resistance and pulling back down again, right? This was the upper limit of being overbought. It happened 3 times in a row. It did start to correct back down, and then it exploded to the upside and became very overbought very quickly, and then had that crashing moment coming back down. So it shouldn't have been to anyone's surprise when you're having technicals like this where you're touching the same line 3 times. You're expecting it to come back down. It has one last major push, then it's going to come right back down again. So that was kind of expected. Obviously, the pump right back up here 32 days later was actually relatively quick. I mean, 32 days is pretty quick to have another kind of push to the upside that's significant. And this briefly entered that overbought area before really coming back down again with Bitcoin correcting a little bit further. And what I'll do is I'll pull this down into our 4-hourly. And here you can see how we were nice and low earlier today. So again, that was primed and ready to move back to the upside. The problem here is that volumes were not coming in. So low volumes were not really utilizing that RSI very well. So ultimately, the price is kind of stabilized around that 50% retracement zone. So again, you can see when we're up at that 618 there, we were overbought on this RSI. We can see that it pulled right back down to this lower area just here, just below 50% retracement, and that was basically all the way down here at the low end of the relative strength index. So we're looking to potentially push this thing back up, but at the moment we're kind of sandwiched between the 50, the 100, and the 200 moving average. The 50 moving average seems to be resistance line, with your support being your 200 and 100 moving averages at the moment. So we're looking for a bit of a breakout event, which I think is due, and the volume's going to be the dictating that here. So if the volumes decide to really come in now, There's a good potential here to really swing this thing to the upside and really break through all of those resistance lines that you see there. So pretty good stuff in the chart of this 4 hourly. Let's just pull this into the hourly. And again, you can see it was oversold quite nicely here and here. And also it's about midway, right? 53 on that relative strength index. Volumes are decreasing over time and nice and low at the moment. So ultimately we're below those moving averages as well. So we're below average value here. We're actually resting on the 50 moving average. I'm not sure if you guys can see that very clearly. But basically we've got support at the 50 moving average and resistance at the 100 moving average. So we're getting squeezed pretty hard. A breakout event is going to be due, but really you need that volume to come in and really help swing this thing. So it does look like Chiliz is getting primed and ready to go to the upside. It's definitely going to be supported here on the daily. Looks like it's going to be supported by the 4 hourly and the hourly. We just need some volume to come in. And once that volume comes in and the sentiment in the market changes, I think Chiliz is absolutely primed to have another go at moving on up. That first price target is $1.47 and is 186% away from the current position. So not a bad price target if you're a Chiliz holder. After that, we're talking about a $2.32, followed by a $3.16 and then $3.69. So pretty good price targets there for Chiliz. I do feel that that's probably the upper limit here. I'm not sure if it's going to have much more potential in it than that, because there was nothing happening for a while here, guys, right? And then you have this kind of parabolic run. I think that's then obviously what we're using for this Fibonacci. I think that is ultimately where the data is telling me we're probably going to end the season at a potential high of $3.69 here. But it is looking pretty interesting. I want to see how that kind of evolves over time. But it is looking like an interesting chart, Chris, and I think it is going to do well during 2021. And, you know, you might be right. It might not retrace as harsh as some of those other projects because of what the project's use case is. And you see the same thing potentially with things like VeChain, and a few others like Cardano, ADA, for example. They probably won't retrace as hardly as harsh as many of these other projects with weaker use cases.
And guys, if you found this video useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you happen to be new to the channel and you'd like to stay up to date with all of that technical analysis, new cryptocurrencies, news, and hidden gems, then why not consider subscribing to the channel? By becoming a subscriber, you'll be kept up to date with everything we do here. It is free, you'll stay well informed, so why not? And with that said, done and out of the way, we hope you have a fantastic day, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, take care.